Well, hello. Today's movie is Davy Crockett and the River Pirates. 1810, and Davy Crockett and his buddy Georgie need to go from Kentucky to New Orleans to sell their furs. He tries to book passage with Mike Fink, the self-proclaimed king of the river, only they can't afford the $1,000 fee. So they hire their own crew to take him. Giorgio gets drunk and wagers the furs that they could beat Fink to New Orleans. Fink, of course, tries many ways to cheat, like a floating sign that directs Crockett down the rapids. He also sabotages the rudder during the night. Crockett rescues a man and his livestock marooned on an island. In gratitude, the man shows Crockett a shortcut down the river. Crockett wins the race, but he lets Fink keep the title and his bourbon. They become great friends after that. Later, Crockett and Georgie are captured by Chickasaw, who are going to war with the white man. It seems some river pirates are masquerading as Indians and causing trouble. Crockett pledges to stop them, to keep the peace. He recruits Fink, who pretends to be a rich banker with lots of gold, to lure out the pirates. The pirates attack and are soundly defeated. So, in 1955, when Disney released Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, that movie was a massive success. All the kids wanted to wear coonskin caps. And not only in America, but in Europe and Japan too. And they knew they had a real big hit, but of course, at the end of the movie, Davy Crockett is killed at the Alamo. So what do? Well, they do like they do nowadays. They decide to make a prequel. And so they made, two more episodes for their TV program. They made it nice color, even though nobody had color TVs back in those days, because they did plan to put it together into a movie. And so this movie came out, Davy Crockett and the River Pirates. It was basically two episodes from their TV show, Davy Crockett and the Keelboat Race, and Davy Crockett and the River Pirates. And so if you watch it, you kind of get you can see that, it does seem to be like two different stories, but, it's all just combined into one. It does fit together and fits pretty good. The movie was filmed in Morganfield, Kentucky, and they also used a cave in the Rock Park in Illinois, which actually is a historical place that I guess was used by river pirates as their hideout. And this is and they also the characters in it were also historically accurate. I mean, Mike Fink, I guess, did exist. He was a self-proclaimed king of the river, and he was a braggart and a bully. And, they kind of did portray him as that, although it was just kind of in a fun way. And, they became best of friends after the first episode, even giving him gifts, and, Davy Crockett and giving him gifts. And of course, then there was also the pirates, which are also played by real-life historical characters. The leader, Samuel Morse, was he was a Revolutionary War officer who, after the war, turned into pirating and outlaw and stuff. And he was a river pirate. And also the Hart brothers, which were these two brothers that were involved in not only river pirating, but, general robbery, and they killed like over 50 people, and apparently a lot of it was because they just like to kill people. So that's kind of why they're considered the first serial killers in American history. Some interesting stuff there. Obviously, though, it was, it isn't any historically accurate. Davy Crockett never got involved with any of these people, but it's just it was a fun story, and the story is enjoyable. It's not as good as the first movie, being a prequel, or that they usually tend not to be that good because you also kind of know what's coming. But it was still fun. Seth Parker was great at Davy, and his sidekick Georgie Russell, who is Buddy Epson, who went on to fame as Jed Clampett in the Beverly Hillbillies. And the movie, also made a lot of money for Disney, and I think they wisely decided that enough was enough, and decided not to keep trying to squeeze water out of a stone or something to get money. I mean, nowadays Disney would definitely do that if it was even remotely successful. They would just kill it to death. But the executives back in those days had some restraint. And it's a fun movie, and it's good for the whole family. I enjoyed it. I think if you like movies like that, you would too. So, if you stuck with me this long, I thank you. You're a unique individual.